You know, I can't think of a company that I have had such a love-hate relationship to where, like, I was such a fan of them when they first came out. I was a fan of their products. I was purchasing a lot of their products because it was just a fascinating, new, and exciting thing. And it really felt like the future was just so bright for this company. But somehow, as time has gone on, things have gotten worse. Things have gotten more expensive. And now I'm looking at a company that just seems to sort of lack direction, I guess would be the word that I'm looking for here. It seems like they're not sure what their next move is, if there's going to be a next move. And I'm of course talking about Arcade1Up. You could see the title of the video and the thumbnail of the video. It's not like a huge surprise or anything like that. But Arcade1Up is a company that I was a huge champion for. Not a paid champion, mind you, but I was just someone who was buying these products and I was like, this is really cool. I was one of the first people to buy the Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition Arcade1Up. I got it for $300 from GameStop. It's a very popular video on this channel, and as the years went on, I loved what they were doing. I loved all these new releases that they were coming out with, these new IPs from the classic era of gaming. And yeah, some of the things, you know, Centipede and Galaga and Pac-Man, I don't really care about that stuff, but you know, it seemed like they were moving in the right direction. They got freaking Mortal Kombat, man. They got some cool stuff. They got, you know, the freaking the Capcom fighters, the various Capcom fighters. As time went on, things were looking very exciting. Hell, they even had a Sega cabinet. Granted, it was Golden Axe, The Revenge of Death Adder, which, you know, but it's Sega. So now I'm thinking like, great, we're going to get all these cool Sega games. Got Outrun, Star Wars, even though it would have been cooler if it was a Sega Star Wars. But alas, my last few purchases of Arcade1Ups have just been utterly disappointing. I made a video saying that I was no longer buying any of these cabinets unless a specific, like 2 games, maybe 3 games came out, all of which are Sega games, Daytona USA, House of the Dead, and Virtua Fighter. And I meant it. And it wasn't because of the fact that, you know, I was just, oh, you know, whatever, you know, these games just aren't for me. It was the quality of the product. Re-releasing all this sort of stuff. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles I have is superior to the re-released versions because it has better speakers in it. Things like the X-Men and the Simpsons, which were my last 2 cabinets that I purchased, I paid $700 for those cabinets, and honestly they were worse than other cabinets that I had purchased at half that price in terms of quality, in terms of sound issues and stuff like that. And it just seemed like they were kind of half-assing things. But 2023 is a new year, and I figured, you know, maybe things would get exciting. What have we gotten in 2023? We've gotten some Fast and the Furious cabinet, some bastardized version of like 2 games combined into one. Isn't the whole point of Arcade1Up to have classic home arcade games so you relive nostalgia? I don't feel like there's a large market of people who are really nostalgic for Fast and the Furious, the racing game. I never even played the game. And I mean, I kind of play video games for a living. I'm sure it has its fans out there. And I know that people bought it and reviewed it and stuff like that, and people had fun with it. That's fine. But when there's so many classic racing games to choose from, it seems like a weird thing to me. And it kind of goes against the mission statement of the company, at least in my eyes. If you disagree with me, you know, that's fine. But this latest announcement, it's just a real swift kick in the nuts, because Fast and the Furious is the last released cabinet from Arcade1Up. Things have been very quiet. There's been leaks of stuff that maybe this is going to happen, maybe that's going to happen. Obviously, NFL Blitz came out, and that had a myriad of issues. But here's the latest from Arcade1Up. A slam dunk with basketball fans with 2 new NBA Jam home arcade experiences. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware of this. They've already done an NBA Jam cabinet. They've actually already done 2 NBA Jam cabinets. I have one of them. I made a review on it. Fine cabinet. I had fun with it. And then they made the Shaq edition, which had Shaq on the side of it. And like, okay, that's cool. You know, there's your 2 variants. But no, that's not enough for Arcade1Up. They have to re-release these systems over and over and over again. And I don't think that they realize that a large majority of these systems probably sold at liquidated prices. I mean, people were selling NBA Jams for pretty cheap, even retailers and stuff like that. Much cheaper than I paid for mine. But here's the move here. So now there's a deluxe edition that's available for pre-order for $699.99. And really, I mean, got some faux coin doors here. You got the tournament edition banner instead of the standard edition banner. You've got Wi-Fi, same games are on here. Like, okay, is there a need for this? It's not even an XL. You know, they've done some of the premium cabinets or whatever the hell they're called, that have the cabinets that are like bigger, and you get a bigger screen, you get a bigger, you know, it's a bigger stand and stuff. Like, no, it's 5 feet tall, 17-inch screen. It's the same sort of thing. And then a freaking partycade. So you have a partycade, and you're supposed to put it on the wall, and it's the same damn game. It's the same thing. This is their biggest problem. Is I don't know if something happened along the way with like acquiring licenses and acquiring IPs of classic games, but I can't imagine that it has, because when you look at the games that they have, the franchises that they have, X-Men, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Simpsons, I feel like these are probably some of the harder licenses to get, because ownership has changed. Nickelodeon owns Ninja Turtles now, okay? But somehow they managed to get those. But when it comes to new stuff, it's just kind of like, meh, meh. Where is Daytona USA? Where is House of the Dead? Where is Virtua Fighter? Where is something like Tekken? Where is the evolution? Because it seemed like we got to a point where it was like, okay, you know, they've got these classic games. You know, they've got these classic 2D fighting games. Now it's time to go to 3D fighting games. And no, they never made the leap. The whole point of Arcade1Up is to simulate an arcade experience at home. Two of the arcade experiences that you cannot get at home, even if you have, you know, a mini PC with everything on it, something that's going to feel very different is a racing game. Something that's going to feel very different is a light gun game. Now, of course, there is rumors of Time Crisis. There was actually another leak that happened right alongside of this. We found out that it looks like it might not have a foot pedal, because there was a ducking mechanic. That's how you reloaded in the game. It's going to be a button on the side of the gun. The game list was also released. It only has Time Crisis, Point Blank 1, and then 2 games from another franchise that I wasn't really familiar with. But like, that has been around forever. I feel like that leak is like 2 years old or something. Where's the new stuff? I honestly feel like the home arcade market is starting to fizzle and fade. You got to remember, this was, you know, something that started, what, 4 or 5 years ago, and it was something that was very different. It was something that was very unique. But as time has gone on, you know, I'm not quite sure that the audience has really grown. And that's kind of a problematic thing. I feel like people have been, you know, kind of burned by Arcade1Up, and they're just kind of tired of getting, you know, just one cabinet at a time, or maybe they just get one cabinet at a time of a game they particularly like, and they don't really care about the other offerings from the company. Now, there are diehard people who collect all of these things, or have like, you know, 20, 30 machines in their house, and, you know, that's cool. If that's what you want to do, that's awesome. But I just feel like on the grander scale, this business model hasn't expanded. I feel like, if anything, it's starting to take steps backwards. We used to get multiple new game releases year after year after year, and now it's like, you're not getting that. You're having to scrouge and scramble up things, and, you know, things are being edited and things are being tinkered with. NFL Blitz is censored in terms of the late hits, which was kind of like the whole point of the game. Fast and the Furious is some weird combination of 2 arcade racing games, Fast and the Furious and then a Tokyo Drift racing game. It's not an authentic experience. So I don't know. And the rehashing of stuff, it just drives me nuts. It's like, why? Why does every cabinet need 5 editions? Why does every cabinet need multiple releases with sometimes incremental upgrades and sometimes downgrades? Like you saw with the Turtles cabinet. Because God almighty, that newer Turtles cabinet has such crappy speakers comparative to the bassy monsters that are in my Turtles in Time, the first generation arcade cabinet that has the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles design to it. I don't know, man. It's a shame. It's a shame, because if they made better stuff and they had better IPs, I would still be liking the stuff. Obviously, the price point, you know, I still feel like it's gotten way too out of control for the average person. But, you know, I could buy stuff like this because I can make videos about it and talk about it on the channel. But it's just like I have no desire to buy stuff that I'm never going to play. I have no desire to buy games that I have really no sort of nostalgia for, or buy the same thing over and over again just to have a little bit of an upgrade. It's weird to me. And I just feel like this marketplace, this home arcade thing is starting to fade out. iArcade went out of business. Arcade Legends, or At Games Legends, you know, they're kind of doing their own little different thing where it's pretty much, you know, just a way to add games to your system. Like, you don't really have to purchase anything or anything like that. Really, Arcade1Up is still, you know, the company that's trying to stick with the tried and true method, but I feel like that method is starting to dry up. But these are just my opinions. At the end of the day, I'm just a random person on the internet with a new hat. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this, though. Do you see issues with the Arcade1Up business model? Do you think that they've lost their passion, they've lost their desire, they've lost their lust, their love of the Arcade1Up games? Do you think that the library that they've been releasing with banger titles such as Fast and the Furious and NBA Jam for multiple times, is that what we need? Or do we need some more classic games from the 90s? The whole kind of point of this business model. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. Hit the bell as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.